In this video, in this episode, we'll take a look at some of the latest technologies that are helping people with diabetes better manage their condition. There are now so many options available for those living with diabetes. So let's take a closer look at how these technologies can help make life easier for diabetics. If you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwayne Wood. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. And here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your life, your health, avoid complications, and live the life you've always wanted, creating the life you've always wanted, going to the next level. You've caught us in the middle, actually at the end now, of diabetes awareness. Every November, we celebrate diabetes awareness, where the goal is to try to dispel some of the myths that may be out there about diabetes, to try to help people understand that they can prevent the progression to diabetes. And if you're living with diabetes, that you can live a healthy, long, fulfilling life. Well, welcome tonight. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving last week. Hope you are having a great Monday, right? So we're shooting this live here on Monday evening. If you have not already done so, you have got to go back and watch the videos that we've done for this month. Oh man, so many amazing concepts, so many amazing discussions that we've had about diabetes as I've walked through what diabetes is. Type 1, type 2, what causes it? Insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, diabetes, how is it diagnosed? I mean, and so many more topics and answers to your questions. So please go back. It's called Diabetes 101. The playlist is actually called Diabetes 101 series. If you go on the on the YouTube channel, make sure you do that. If you have people in your life, family, friends, coworkers, anybody who is interested in diabetes, who has diabetes, this is a playlist that they have got to listen to and got to watch. Okay. All right. As you know, I normally do a shout out, and tonight my shout out is to, Shoot 360. It's an amazing facility. We were looking for a place where we could get some training, right? The young man is now in basketball. He loves basketball. That's his thing. And Shoot 360, I love it. I mean, the coaches that are there come over. They help the facility, the technology that we use. And even in the short time that we've been going, we have seen improvement. So guys, if you're out there, Shoot 360, shout out to you. Thank you for all of your help. And thank you for working with us. I'm in the process of talking about treatment. Okay, we're in the process of talking about treatment. That's what we've been doing the last several videos. And the videos that I've done, the episodes that I've done, have kind of walked through the treatment paradigm. The first thing that we want to know, and let me pop over to that screen. The first thing that we want to know is, so that's the title, as you see there, how diabetics are using technology to better manage their condition. Okay, how we're using it to better manage the condition. And the first thing to know is that this is a holistic approach. When you go back and you look at the videos, you will notice that it is not a one size fits all. It's not a one-stop shop, if you will, for, let me just take this thing. When we talk about diabetes, it is a holistic approach. And so as I've walked through the month, as I've walked through the treatment, we've talked about so many different aspects: non-insulin injectables, non-prescription treatment, lifestyle modification. And we defined what that was and what it means and how that interacts with what we need to do for diabetes. Okay. So it is a holistic approach. And when we talk about treatment, always treatment, right? When we're talking about prescription treatment, it is on a baseline of lifestyle therapy and diabetes glucose monitoring. Those are the fundamentals. Those are the basics. Those are the underpinnings of everything that we do as we manage diabetes. Okay, so remember that. So prescription, and I kind of walked through oral medication, non-insulin injectables. We concluded the insulins last night with talking about pre-mixed insulin. And then this episode, we're talking about technology. And so the technology, I'm hoping to make this kind of a show and tell. Right? So you'll see there glucose meters, insulin pumps, continuous glucose monitors, and other things, right? And insulin pens and glucagon and so forth. So I have over here to the side, and we'll hop over there in a minute. I have a, I'm not going to show you the pile, right? But I've got a pile of stuff over here that we're going to kind of walk through together, right? All right. So if you've got questions, and I forgot to say that at the top of the show, if you have got questions, go ahead and put those questions in the comments. Put a Q in front of it so I'll know that that's a question that we need to get to. The other thing is, if you're new, go ahead and put new in the comments, because I'd love to welcome you with a hand clap and some music. All right. So make sure you do that. Hey, Soul Gaming. What's up, man? How you doing? Hey, let's pop that up. Hey, welcome. Thanks for stopping through. Thanks for stopping. I'm going to give you, I know you're not new, but I'm going to give you a hand clap and some music anyway. There you go. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. All right. So let's see. Let's pop over and let's get our screen together, and let's see what you can see. All right. So you should still be able to see me, all right? And I'm going to move my mic over a little bit this way so that you can see some stuff. Okay, I'm gonna move that out of the way. That's one of the show and tells. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the advancement of some of the technology. And let me pull my little tray over here. I'm not going to put the whole thing on the counter. All right, here we go. Make sure that you guys can hear me. There we go. All right. So everyone is probably familiar with the insulin syringe, and I'm going to pop those out there. Let me get this off of my table. Throw that on the ground. Okay, there we go. If I can pull this over a little bit. All right. So everybody's familiar with the insulin syringe, right? And at one time, this was, oops, I didn't expect my thing to switch, but that's okay. All right. There you go. Hopefully it comes back. All right. So at one time, this was the treatment option, right? Now the syringes didn't look like this. This is a more modern syringe. Right, of course, with the safety cap, and you pop that out. There's your needle, and then your plunger that's at the top. Okay, and this, of course, works by withdrawing insulin from a vial. Right, so we had vials at one time, and then the most modern iteration of insulin injections comes in a pen. Now, this pen that I'm going to show you is one of the pens for one of the GLPs, right, Ozempic, but I'm just using it because it works the same, right? Typical pen that looks like this. And what you would do is, of course, you would take, and let's open this up. Take one of these needles, if I can get it off. Right. Take one of these needles and go ahead and take the top off, and I'm going to lean over so you can see a little closer. All right, take that off. You screw that on. All right, there's a cap. We take that off. There's another cap in the inside. You pop that off, and there is the needle. Okay, do you guys see that? All right. And so in the window, right, you typically would dial up your dose, right? And this, like I said, this is one of the GLPs. So you dial up the dose and then you inject. Now, let's see if I can, well, let's do it. Let's do it in my hand. How about that? Can you see? All right, did you see that? Let's pop that again. And it probably needs something darker. Right. Okay, here we go. You probably see. All right. So you would inject that way. Okay. So that makes it so much simpler, right, than having to draw up the insulin, And I didn't show you how to draw up the insulin in this case. A lot of people are on the pens. There are still some people who are on syringes. But we didn't do that. All right, so that's our pen. And then, of course, you would put the cap back on. You do that. And then cover it back. And it's ready to use for the next time. Okay, so needles, pen needles, and your pen. Now, there are some other pen needles that are out there, right? For instance, this one is a pen needle, and it's called an auto shield. Now, for these guys, let's try that again. Let me show you. I'm gonna open up another one. When you put this pen on, when you put the pen needle on, and you pop that off and you pop that off, when you finish injecting, let's try that again. Right, and I'm just gonna do it on the floor. My wife's gonna kill me, but that's okay. Right? When you do that, right, you see the pen needle, the needle is still there. And so you pop this off or put it on, and then you screw it off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one of these auto shield ones. So it's same thing. You tear off the top, put it on, screw it on. Now, when you take this off, there's no, like, you can't see the needle, right? You can't see the needle. So the needle is in here. So I'm going to have to go ahead and dial up just like we did before. And then I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use one of my boxes. I didn't intend for you to see this yet, but that's okay. I'm going to use the top of the box as an injector. So I'm going to take this. Let's see, can you see? No, you can't see. Yeah, there you go. All right, so I'm going to pop it in here. And so I just injected, and when I come up, notice, right, now the needle is hidden, right, and I can't press it, so it's a protective device. All right, does that make sense? Okay, so that's one of the protecting needles. All right, and let's go back, and since I didn't show you, I'm going to go ahead and show you how we draw up. So here's our needle, our syringe, and the way that this should happen is whatever dose that you're on, you should draw up to that line, right? Notice there's nothing going in. So what we're just doing is we're putting some air in there. So you can go to whatever dose you have, whatever dose you've been prescribed, right? So whatever dose that is, draw up. And then when you get your vial, you turn it upside down, right? Upside down. And you insert the needle, and then you push the air in, and then you draw up, okay? And then you draw up. What that does is it gives you some, almost like a vacuum. And I don't know, guys, why my camera keeps flipping. Right? I think it's trying to follow me. Right, so there's my pen, there's my needle. And you can see that I have some insulin on the inside. And then I'm going to go back to the same box I was using before. And I'm going to inject. Oops, that one bent. Yeah, that's not supposed to do that, by the way. The box is hard, so it's not going to do it. But you would inject it. Does that make sense? Okay, all right. That won't happen to you, right? That's because I'm trying to inject into this box. All right, there we go. And then for, let's see, where is my? Yeah, there you go. And then I would take, right, my cap, and I'd put that on there. Boom. Okay. And then you dispose of this. What I tell people is get you can go to the pharmacy, at your local pharmacy, and you can get one of those red biohazard containers, and you can drop your things there. Okay, so that's the evolution. Now, at one time, we had all these fancy pens. So I'm going to show you this, right? So this was a pen that we used. When pens came about, what you would do is you'd put a syringe in there, so the pen would stay. You would keep the pen, but you would replace the syringe. The insulin, and basically you would put it in there. Screw that in. Put your needle on top of here like you normally, like I just showed you. Dial up, right? So dial up your dose, and then you pop it in. Okay. So these were available. Let's see. I think is this the same kind? Yeah, this is the same kind. There's another one. Let's pop this one out. All right. So this is kind of walk down memory lane. Walk down memory lane. All right. So once again, the same idea. You pop this off. You would put your cartridge, your insulin in here. You'd unscrew it. Put the insulin syringe cartridge in here. Screw it back on. All right. Put your needle at the top. Dial up your dose. And then you would pop it in. Okay. So all of those. So we've come a long way from injecting or drawing up to the pens. Okay. So that was the idea behind this part of the discussion, the pens. Now, the other thing that happened is that we, at one time, did not have, and I think I had a scissor here somewhere, because I want to open this box to show you what's in it. This is one of the glucose monitors that we use in our office. There are lots of different ones. There's AccuCheck, there's Contour. One of the least expensive ones on the market is the Relion Prime, which is from Walmart. Okay, so there are lots of things on the market. I don't have one of every one, and I don't want to show you one of every one, but I'm going to show you kind of the basics of how this works. Now, at one time, we didn't have glucose monitors. Now, if you were diagnosed years ago, you remember that what we did was we put those tablets in the urine, and the urine would change colors, and that would be how we would tell what the blood sugar was, right? We'd have a range of what it was. So anyway, so I just took this out of the box. Let's put this over here. Let's get our box away from us. All right. And so I'm going to open this up. So this is brand new. And in the box, or in the container, is this thing, right? Is this thing. And so here's the meter. And I'm going to just turn it on by pressing the button. And then it asks me to set it up. Come on, camera. All right, it asks me to set it up. I'm going to say English, yes. And this one, you can actually, it says, do you want to continue setup using the One Touch Reveal app? And I'm going to say no, I don't want to do that right now, right? You go up here and you set the time, right? Right now it's not right, so I guess I can edit it. And it is 7:21 p.m. Right, and this works simply, just like any other device that you open for the first time. You've got to set up, okay, and then save. And then it's asking me to save the ranges. We're not going to walk through doing all of that right now. And it says setup is complete. And then in the box, there are the strips. Right, there are a bunch of strips. And these strips you would use. Right, you'd insert it here. And then when you prick your finger with the lancing device, which I don't have one in there right now, you would prick your finger, pop, your blood would go here, and then you'd get a reading. Okay, and we're going to come back, and someone asked in one of my shorts, someone asked a question about walking through all of this, checking blood sugars and so forth. And I think so Diabetes Awareness Month is is almost to an end, and that doesn't mean that our discussion about diabetes is over, right? There's so many things that that we can still talk about, and as we move forward throughout the year, then I will come back and do different discussions. And one of them is probably going to be, okay, how do we use these glucose meters? What I want to do as a show is actually put on, well, let me not really reveal that yet. I'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, so that's the glucose meter, right? So one of the things that you saw when I was talking about the management of diabetes is that we want to make sure that we are doing lifestyle adjustment and that we're monitoring our blood glucose levels, right? So this is one way of doing it. Now, since this, right, so we went from the tablets, we went to the strips, right, where you kind of pee on the strip, to the glucose monitor, which is this guy, right? So you check your blood sugars 3-4 times a day or 5 times a day, or some people a lot more than that. And then we went to what's called a continuous glucose monitor, right? So it's a glucose meter, right? And I'm going to actually leave this, right? Let me take it out of and I'm going to put it right here so you can see what that, I'll leave it there, okay? Actually, we can get rid of these guys. And so we went to the continuous glucose monitor, right? And there are currently several on the market. And I'm going to put them on here. When I say several, I guess I could still say several. There are about 4, 5 maybe. If you're in other countries, you probably have more. But these are, right, so we've got the Dexcom, which is here in our big green box. There is the Libre. And Libre actually has just come out with their 3rd version, but the Libre 2, and you see the box is very different. And then there's this guy up down here, which is called the EverSense. Now this is an expired one, and that's why you see that that date that's there. But let's kind of walk through each of these. And I'm not going to do the Libre 2 because that's an older version. I'm going to do the Libre 3. Okay, so let's go ahead. And this is real time, right? So let's take these guys off, and we'll do them one at a time. So this is the Libre 3. Comes in a box like this. And basically, it's like a big screw, right? So you screw it open. And there is, on the inside there, right, that's your monitor. So let's see, I thought I would maybe put it on my arm. I guess I can do that. Should I do that, or should I put it on the box? Yeah, why don't we do it on the box? yeah, I'll do it on the top of this box. Or maybe here. So you pop it down like that. Right, and once again, we can do this. You know what? Let's do this. Let me see if I can pop let me change my camera. And then, okay, here we go. So let's do this. I'm going to actually put it on. All right, so what I tell people is make a right angle with your arm, and you take this thing right here, and you pop it right here, and you press it in, and hold it for 10 seconds, and you pop it off, and so can you guys see that? That's what that looks like. All right, so that's how you would put it on. All right. All right, so we'll do that. And that's what the Libre looks like. It's a little smaller than the Libre 2. And this just came out, I don't know. Has it been 6 months yet? All right. And you wear it on the back of the arm. So that's the Libre. Let's pop back over here. All right, so let's go ahead and take that off of the table. And I'm just throwing all this stuff on the ground. I'll pick it up when we're done. All right, so that's the Libre 2. Let's go over and let's grab this big box. Now the box looks big, right? The box looks big, but I want you to know that the stuff inside the box is not that big. So just in case you were interested, it is not that big. So let me get my scissor. And I'm gonna cut the box open like that. Yeah, boom. And this guy, oh, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, so let's let me pop up this comment from Jeff. Yeah, Jeff said about 4 months for the Libre 3, which he uses. Yeah. So Jeff, put in the comments if you don't mind. What do you think of the 3? Did you use the 2? Right, that's the first question. And then are you using the 3? And kind of give us your thoughts on one compared to the other. Okay. Yeah. And you can put that in, and when as I go through, I'll pop back to you and maybe we can put that up on the screen. All right. Good. So let's pop back over here. All right. So in the box, I got, of course, instructions. Let's see. And you got these 2 things. And it comes as 2 parts. So let's go ahead and get the instructions in the box. And we're going to pop this over there. All right. So we've got a transmitter. And then we've got the sensor. And let's go ahead and open them up. And once again, guys, if you're interested, we'll come back and we'll do a show where we actually put these, hook them up to the phone app and so forth. If you're interested in that, go ahead and put that in the comments, and we'll be sure to get that show together. All right, so here's the transmitter. And then here is the sensor applicator, right? That's the thing that's going to put it on, just like we did with the other one with the Libre. Then this thing is going to be what puts it on. So let's see. Do we have an easy way to do this one? Okay. Hey man, why don't we? Yeah, hey. So let me show you what we do first. All right. So there is some tape on this thing, and you basically pull that off. Pull that off, and that's what's going to stick it onto. That's what's going to stick it onto the skin. And why don't I do this? You know what? Because we're family. Yeah, I don't do this for just anybody. Okay, look at this. All right, so what you do is you just apply this thing. And Jeff is saying, yes, Jeff, thank you. You have to wipe off the area, okay? And you put it on like that. You break off this orange thing, okay? And then you press the button. And when you press the button, it applies, it inserts the sensor. And then when you take this thing off, the sensor is left, okay? And then you take the transmitter and you put the transmitter in and you press it in. Okay. All right, I did that just because it's you guys, right? All right, so now you've seen how you put both of them on. All right, and let's go back to our screen. And of course, this stuff goes into the trash, right? There are some things that you got to do to connect it to your phone. We're not going to go through that right now. Like I said, if you're interested in seeing that done, we'll walk through a complete insertion and setup. But what I was saying is what I'd like to do is, and this is not going to be a test of the two, but just so that you guys can see, to put on a Libre 3 and a Dexcom, right? And then we'll come on air, we'll connect it to the app, and we'll have one of the monitors. For instance, we may have this One Touch, and I'll take my blood sugar with the One Touch, and then I'll show you what the Libre is saying my blood sugar is, and then I'll show you what the Dexcom is saying what my blood sugar is. Okay, and then we'll do that. All right, and so the final one that I want to talk about that I have to demonstrate to you is the EverSense. And the EverSense, this is the box, and this is expired, but it's a brand new one. Right, comes in a little thing like this. And where's my trusty scissor? Let's get all this stuff off of the table. All right, I'm gonna pop this open. And in here, right, and I'm gonna actually open this up, see if this one will come out. And it may not come out here. Yeah, I probably have to use there's a device that you'd use to insert it, but I do have a demo one that I'm going to show you. Right, and that's the transmitter. That's the transmitter. Sorry, that's yeah. So that's the sensor. Sorry, and this is the transmitter. And so this actually is inserted under the skin. This guy is inserted under the skin. It's a small procedure that you do to make an insertion, make an incision in the skin, and then this thing that's in here is what is inserted, and that's what it looks like. Okay, let me pop back over here to my screen. So I'm showing you guys all my business, but that's okay. We're family. So you probably can't see it. And I can't feel it. Hold on a second. Yeah, so right here, where my finger is, I have one of those sensors in. One of the EverSenses. Okay. All right. All right. Now, the one that I don't have to show you, I don't have a demo of it, is the Guardian Connect by Medtronic. I don't have one of those to show you, but when I show you the pumps, then I'll make a comment about the Guardian Connect as well. Okay, so let's get rid of this. All right, so that's pens and syringes. We talked about meters, and then we've talked about the continuous glucose monitors, right? And so now let's talk about pumps. Now, there are a few pumps out there as well, and I'm going to take this meter off the desk for now. There are a few pumps out there as well, and I don't have one of each to demo. So this one right here is the Medtronic. This is the MiniMed by Medtronic. This one is the Omnipod, right? An Omnipod, and it's all just called the Omnipod, and it's several generations that they have. Okay, several generations they have. Let's pop up before we go there. So Jeff just put a comment up, and let's see what he says. He says he was. Let me pop it up on the screen. if it would let me do that. Huh. Okay. Jeff, it doesn't like me putting that out. Okay, here, let's try it. Okay, there we go. He said, was using the Libre 14, which didn't have alarms, but had to scan. Love the Libre 3 because Bluetooth directs to your phone, so no scans. Even though smaller, I still get a few compression alarms at night. Compression alarms? Jeff, can you clarify that for me? And then before that, as I said, he was saying, don't forget to wash the area before applying these CGMs. Yes. So I just popped them on. So yes, Jeff, thank you for saying that. Make sure you clean the area. And when we do them officially, then we'll do that. We'll clean the area. Okay. All right. So let me get myself back together. Here, okay. There we go. All right. All right. So let's go back here. So like I said, the Medtronic MiniMed, and this is the Omnipod, and they are the Dash 5, I believe is where they are now. There is another one, which I don't have here, and it's from Tandem called the T-Slim. There were other companies in the past, so you guys may remember that Accu-Check actually had a pump. And then there was the One Touch had a pump. The One Touch Ping, I think is what it was called. Right? All right. So let's talk through these. Now, so this is Medtronic's. This is the Medtronic pump. And there is a reservoir that goes in here. Let me see. I thought I had a bunch. Oh, here they are. Oh, and I did have, let me put this aside for a minute. Take this off a minute. So I did have one of the Medtronic sensors, right? So that's what the Medtronic sensors look like. This is a demo, so I can't show you how to put it on. But that, yeah, so that's what it looks like. All right. Not this whole blue thing, just this guy right here. So this white thing. All right. So then let's go back to the pump. So here's the pump. This is the Medtronic MiniMed, and the way this works is you would fill one of these reservoirs with insulin. Then you would unscrew it. Right, you'd unscrew it, and then this goes into. Let's pump this out. Yeah, let's do it for real. Well, let me do it for real. Yeah, so because it'd be filled with insulin, right, like that, and then you would unscrew this, and this guy basically goes in here, right? So there's another part. Let's see. There's another part that screws in. So this guy would screw into here. It would lock in. And then this screws into this. And so now your insulin is in the pump and being delivered to you through this cannula. Okay, so that's the Medtronic pump. The Omnipod comes, and as it's named, it's a pod, right? So it comes like this. You would fill it with insulin by inserting the insulin into the pod, and then this pod would then, and all these guys use similar tapes, right? So this guy, and I'm gonna just attach this one to my arm so you can see, would go, and you can put this on your abdomen, your thighs, your pretty much anywhere, and it would attach like that, and you would control it, with a controller. And over the years, they've had various controllers. they've gotten better and smaller and more advanced and so forth. Okay, so that's what the Omnipod would look like. One of the benefits of the Omnipod is that, as you see, there's no tubing that goes with it. So a lot of people like not having the tubing. It works with the Dexcom, which was the other guy that we showed, the one that I put on my abdomen. So now they work with him. Medtronic and both of these now have what we call closed loop pumps. It's closed loop devices. Let me pop over here so we can talk. So what is a closed loop device? A closed loop device is where, well, for years and years and years, the pump, right? The either this thing or the Medtronic one, all it did was it gave you insulin. So it wasn't smart. So you had to, we would of course program it, and it would, when I say give you insulin, we would program it with rules, and those rules would dictate how much insulin you got. Okay. But in order for it to respond to blood sugars, you had to tell it what the blood sugar was. So you'd have to check your blood sugar, and then you'd have to put it in the pump. Well, as technology improved, they had meters, right? Those glucose meters. Where's mine? The one that I opened up, which I can't find right now. Oh, this one. So you would check your blood sugar with a glucose meter, and you'd put it in. But then they got smart ones where you check your blood sugar with the meter, and the meter would send the information to the pump, and then the pump would use the rules that we told it to make adjustments. Okay, so no problem there. And then we got the continuous glucose monitors, like the thing that I put in the back of the arm, the one that I put on my abdomen, the one that I showed you from Medtronic. Then they got those things, and those would check the blood sugar continuously. They check it, well, let's say continuous. It's like every 5 minutes. Right? For some of them, it's more. So guys, don't get on me. On average, every 5 minutes. And then it would give you a number, and then you can use that number to put in the pump. Well, the closed loop system says, hey, wait a minute. How about we have the pump and the meter the continuous monitor talk to each other, and then the pump can respond to what the continuous monitor says, so that I don't have to be involved with it. And so both Medtronic and Omnipod now have devices, what we call closed loop systems, where the continuous glucose monitor checks the blood sugar, sends it to the pump, and the pump adjusts the insulin that it's giving you based on the number that it got, right? So they're talking to each other now. So very smart things. All right. So Jeff is responding. I guess he's talking about a few compressions. He says lying on a Libre and Dexcom at night can cause low reading alarms, compression lows, because interference with tissue, which sets off FDA requires alarm at 55. So he's saying, so when you lay on it, he is getting low blood sugars. They can cause low blood sugars, and so he's getting alarm. Right? It says it happens if you are a side sleeper lying on that arm. Right? So if you have it on this arm and you're laying on the side, right? Then he's saying he's gotten that alarm is loud, but it is usually a false alarm. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Thank you. All right. Now I've worn, as I said, I have a Eversense in. Actually, it's time for me to change mine. I've got two in, actually, one in each arm. Time for me to change them. I've worn the Libre, and I've worn the Dexcom. So those three. I've never worn a Medtronic MiniMed, but I have worn a Medtronic pump before. It's actually the only pump that I've used in my life. I've not used the Omnipod. I've not used the T-Slim, other than, when we were training for those, I wore them. But for the management of my personal blood sugars, I used a Medtronic in the past. All right. So let's hop back over to our screen here. So those are. So let's see. We got through pens, meters, continuous glucose monitors, and now we just finished up talking about the pumps. Just a couple of other things that I want to go through. And let's make sure I've got everybody's. Yep. Right. And so I want to talk just briefly about glucose monitors. Not glucose monitors, but glucagon. So glucagon is an emergency medication that we use to bring blood sugars up. And as you know, low blood sugars don't feel good. And if they're low enough, they can be dangerous. Glucagon is actually something that the body makes. But in this process, what we're doing is we're giving more glucagon. We're giving a higher dose of glucagon to force the body to bring the blood sugars up. And it comes either as a pen in the past. And let me see if I have. This is the Gvoke one. Okay, yeah. This is Egalog. All right, so I've got. They come either as a pen, and they look kind of like an EpiPen, right? An EpiPen, and you basically would pop this off, and then you would pop it on. You can do it on the arm, you can do it in the abdomen, you can do it in the thigh, just any exposed area. Don't do it in the face, please. And then you pop it down, and it gives you glucagon. And reportedly, these will bring blood sugars up anywhere from 50 to 70 points, or sometimes higher, right? So that's how that one works. Now, this one is the only nasal one that's available on the market right now. And so for this, let me pop over to my big screen. And this one, right, you stick that up in the nostril of the person that's having the low blood sugar, and then you pop the bottom, and they get, right? They get some glucagon, they breathe it in, and this raises the blood sugar as well, right? So these are for hypoglycemic problems, hypoglycemic emergencies. Now, one of the questions that people ask me all the time is, when should I use the glucagon, right? And we used to tell people, hey, if you could take it yourself, then you shouldn't take it. We've moved away from that because we don't want you like passing out before you decide I need to take some glucagon, right? We'd much rather you take it and be wrong about taking it than not take it at all, right? So if you have high blood, if you didn't need to take it and your blood sugar goes up, we can treat that. But if you're out there kind of trying to, should I not, and you don't take it, then we can run into trouble. Okay? All right. So that's not what we want. All right. Well, this is a good place for us to do our thought of the day. So let's hop over and do that right now. So our thought of the day is this. Let me move my camera so that's good. Our thought of the day is this. What is your thought of the day? So when you wake up, what is the first thing you think? What have you put in place that helps you jumpstart your day? Or do you wake up with stress, wake up with worry, wake up loaded down? Do you wake up thinking, my goodness, I'm so excited to be alive today? Or do you wake up thinking, oh my God, not another day? It makes a difference. So what is your thought for the day? Do you set yourself up when you go to sleep to wake up with a thought of the day? Right? And there are lots of ways of doing that. Write it down. So when you wake up, open your eyes, get the piece of paper that's there, right? Put it on the ceiling, put it on the wall. Right? Have it on your alarm. So now these smart alarms, they can tell you stuff. Good morning, Dwayne. It is 95 degrees outside. Or you could say, good morning, Dwayne. You are such an awesome human. Right? I was going to say young person. You are such an awesome person. Because it sets the tone for your day. If you dread the day, if you're worried about the day, if you've got all these stresses that are on your mind for the day, then you may not want to go into the day. And if you do go into the day, you go in already defensive, already irritable, already with so much weighing you down. So what's your thought of the day? What do you want your thought of the day to be? You can create that thought of the day. You can create what happens to you that day. As you think, so it becomes. I know it sounds simple. I know it sounds almost magical, but it's not. Remember, your brain, your mind will try to find evidence for anything you tell it. So why not tell it how awesome you are? Why not tell it how grateful you are? Why not tell it how amazing today is going to be? Because if you do, your mind will find evidence of those things, and your day goes so much better. That's our thought for today. All right. So we're back. And if you have been following us, if you have been following me for this month, you know that we've added a new feature to what we do called the Amazing Question Wheel. And here we go. Let's hop over to that right now. All right. So our amazing question wheel. So here are the rules. You see on the screen, there are questions on the wheel. I'm going to spin the wheel. Whatever question it lands on, I get to answer. Yay! And the rules are I've got to give you a real answer, a concise, practical, usable answer to the question. On top of that, I've got to give you that answer in 15 seconds. Yes, 15 seconds, right? So I've got to craft it, and I've got to give it. I've got to do it in 15 seconds. When I'm finished with that, I'm going to, when the show is over, I'm going to clip that out and I'm going to put that on our social media platforms. I'm going to create a little video with the answer that I give. And if you see, let's pop back over here. See right down below me, my name, Dwayne Wood MD. On all of our social media platforms, you can find me there. So I want you to go out. I want you to go find this video that I'm going to create from this answer. And I want you to put hashtag I was there in the comments. Hashtag I was there. Okay. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to reward you guys for doing that. So hashtag I was there. If you have some ideas of what we can do, just send them in and let me know. But let's hop back over to our question wheel and let's spin it and see where we go. All right. So let's see. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Spin. Round and round and round it goes. Where it stops, I don't know. All right. So here's a good one. This is a good one. It says, what blood sugar is considered hypoglycemic? What blood sugar is considered hypoglycemic? And we're just talking about low blood sugars, right? We're talking about the glucagon. So let's pop that over. Let's get 45 seconds on the screen. Okay, let me think about that for a second. All right, here we go. So what blood sugar is considered hypoglycemic? Hypoglycemia is considered to be a blood sugar below 70. Now, as people improve their blood sugars, if they're used to being high, then their body responds to blood sugars that are in the normal range with the same type of symptoms as if they are below 70. So we tell people, make sure that you check your blood sugar before treating it. But hypoglycemia is less than 70. All right, did I do it? I think I did it. I think I still had like 10 seconds or so to go. All right, let's see. So so Jeff is there. Jeff, let's put this up. He says, are those different from 15 grams of carb tablets? And I'm assuming, Jeff, that you're talking about the glucagon. Right. So typically we give, let me pop this back down. Right. So are glucagon injections the same as 15-gram glucose tablets? And the answer is we can't really compare them. The glucose tablets that you take, each one of them is between 3 to 4 grams of carbs. So when you take them, most people end up taking one, but they actually should take anywhere from 4 to 5 of those, right? Because we say 15 grams of carbs. The glucagon, we're giving 1 milligram of glucagon, and that raises the blood sugar, like I said, it should raise the blood sugar, depending on the person, between 50 to 70 points or even higher than that. So, Jeff, I don't know if that answers your question, but you can't really compare. Is it 15 grams, right? We're not doing, it's not equivalent, if you will, to grams of glucagon and grams of carbs. We actually give 1 milligram of glucagon. All right, let's see. So, hopping back over to our graphic for a minute. So, diabetes technology, right? So, glucose meters, insulin pumps, continuous glucose monitors, insulin pen, and glucagon. Right. So those are the things that we talked about. There could be so many other things that we talk about in terms of technology. Right. But this was just a smattering of that. If there are things that you saw or topics that you want me to cover, go ahead and send those in to us. And I'll talk to you about that here in just a moment. Well, why don't we go do that right now? Oh, we see so Florence. Hey, Florence, how you doing? Hey, thank you. Have a cat's clap. Good to see you, Florence. Thanks for coming through. And then Jeff says, yes, thank you. Okay, I'm assuming you're saying yes, that answered the question. Okay, good. Thank you. And Jeff, thank you for your question, man. Thank you for engaging. I love that. I love your spirit. I love the questions that you ask. I love that you're out there. Okay. The advancements in technology to treat diabetes has been amazing. At one time, insulin injections were the only options available. But now there are so many different options that it's almost impossible to keep up with all of them. And each new generation of device seems to be more effective than the last. It is incredible to think about how far we've come in such a short period, relatively short period. We don't yet have a cure for diabetes. But until then, what an amazing group of things that we are seeing in the advancement of technology. So if you are having problems with managing your diabetes, talk to your healthcare provider. Talk to your healthcare provider about whether some of the technologies that are available are right for you. Because our goal, after all, is long, healthy, fulfilling life. I'm glad that you were here. I'm glad that you took time to hang out with me. Diabetes Awareness Month is almost over. Not yet. We've got a couple more shows that we're going to do. You want to come back and you want to be part of those shows. If you've not done so, go back, look at the YouTube channel, those videos that I've done in this series, and there should be now 28. I think there was one day that that's right. We did a thank you for Thanksgiving. I think that one so it was just a thank you. But yeah, you should see all the others there. Watch them, share them, send them to all of your friend groups, right? I want to empower people, encourage them, educate them so that they can take charge of their health and life, right? So that's what we want to do. There is also a free resource that I've made available. And let me pop over here for a minute. There's a free resource that I've made available. And if you go to my website, I'm going to pop this over. You'll see the 45-second thing again, but that's okay. If you go to my website, Dwayne Wood MD, and you click the button right there, it'll come up with your free resource. It's called 7 Keys to Success. 7 Keys to Success. Learn how successful people create the life they want. Because remember, we are no longer allowing life to just happen. We are no longer just accepting what life gives. We are creating the life that we want. And that's what I'm doing, right? This is Dr. Dwayne Wood Wood with an E. And on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your life, take charge of your health, create the life you want, and go to the next level. You can start doing that by subscribing to the channel, learning the things that I am doing, that I'm teaching. If you don't have an account, create a free account on YouTube, log in, and then hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you know people who are having trouble subscribing, help them to subscribe. The more you do, the better it is for the channel and for the information that we're giving. And by the way, I forgot to shout out all of you, because today we crossed the 800 mark for subscribers. Yay! So yeah, we crossed the 800 mark for subscribers, and that is just amazing to me, right? That you're out there and that you're watching and that you're engaging. Thank you for doing that. Continue to share. If you are one of my colleagues, you're a healthcare provider, you're an endocrinologist, you are a family practice doctor, or any specialty, or anyone who is associated with health, wellness, weight loss, this is a great series for you to show to your patients, your clients. Have them come. It's free. It's on the website. They will get an amazing amount of information from the videos that we've done. Okay. So thank you once again for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. And I will see you at the next video. Let's get some music and let's get on out of here. Bye-bye. Good night.